Adam and Eve, created good by God, turned away from Him. In God's ideal of creation, we understood that man goes through a period of growth before reaching his spiritual maturity, and it was during this period that Adam and Eve faced the temptation of Satan. But even so, knowing the truth of the commandment to not eat the fruit, how come they turned away from God and broke the commandment? The reason is found in the fact that the force of love is stronger than the force of truth. The reason is that God wanted His relationship with men to be ultimately based on love, not on truth, formality, discipline. The only force stronger than the force of principle on which God's ideal was based, is the force of love, in this case the unprincipled love of the archangel Lucifer, led them to deviate from God's will. To combat this, God gave them a commandment: do not eat the forbidden fruit. In other words, do not begin a love relationship until I bless you in marriage. This is what all Christians should also observe in their life as singles before marriage in their church. Adam and Eve were not to have sexual relations, neither with each other nor Eve with the angel. If Adam and Eve had kept this commandment and maintained their faith in God, they would never have been tempted by Lucifer's unprincipled love. Now we can understand why God gave man the commandment. It was not to test them and make them fail, but to protect them. The same way parents tell their children, don't go play on the road, there are cars, it's dangerous. God was warning Adam and Eve to be protected and, once the first blessing of individually perfecting themselves in God was realized, they would be free to eat the fruit. God wanted Adam and Eve to enjoy sexual love once they were married and form an ideal family. We can thus see that an action, any action, can lead to good or evil, depending solely on the motivation with which it is done. The action of the desire for physical love between Adam and Eve in itself was not wrong. They were to become husband and wife in fact, but when it was motivated by Satan, before God's blessing in marriage, the consequences were bad, spiritually and physically. Had it been motivated by God's ideal and His blessing, the result would have been good. What were the consequences of the fall of man? The first is that Adam and Eve did not create the first ideal family. Instead, they created a Satan-centered history and world, and the result was children with the evil nature inherited from Lucifer, who became Satan, and a humanity with original sin. For this reason, the Bible says in John 8:44, you have the devil for a father and want to fulfill your father's desires. He has been murderous from the beginning. The Bible also calls Satan the god of this world, or the ruler of this world, because from then on, he has assumed a position of dominion over the lives of all people, to this day.